Good morning, Brian and Alicia. Let's start with a lot is still up in the air. Firstly, the Biden administration has said it will not mandate any kind of a federal vaccine passport or have a federal vaccine database. And here in Michigan, there's not legislation on this topic at this point. Right now, as I heard Alicia mention, the only proof of vaccination, we're seeing these coveted little white cards, which we have all seen posted to social media. But what about private businesses, schools, or places we want to travel requiring a digital proof of vaccine, a digital vaccine credential? Well, that brings up the issues of privacy and discrimination.
We haven't had those discussions.
Director of the state's health department, Elizabeth Hurdle, not saying much on the topic of vaccine passports.
Right now, we want to make sure that we're getting vaccines out into the communities and to those people who want them and need them.
Many Republican lawmakers around the country are sounding the alarm on the prospect of a digital vaccine credential, something to get those with COVID immunity into large concert venues, sporting events, or as a means to travel to certain places. Via an executive order, Governor Ron DeSantis banning the use of COVID-19 passports in Florida. Texas Governor Greg Abbott following suit on the grounds of privacy and personal freedom. Michigan Congresswoman Lisa McClain, a Republican, tells Action News, quote, "Vaccine passports are another infringement on our personal liberties by revealing private health information. I strongly oppose any proposals that require Michiganders to show proof of vaccination in order to go about their day-to-day lives." Meanwhile, in New York, a digital app is rolling out, which will show someone's proof of vaccination or negative COVID test.
In regards to what different vendors in the travel industry, what they are deciding they're going to do, that's still up in the air a lot. Some countries have already said, if you have a vaccine, you can come in. Some countries have said you need to be tested still to come in.
Oakland University in Rochester announcing this week it will require proof of vaccination for students prior to fall move-in if they're living on campus. We asked the head of the Henry Ford Health System if he sees passport-only events in Michigan's future.
In the short run, I don't. And probably the biggest reason is you still have challenges when you have a vaccine under emergency use authorization versus full-blown FDA approval. And so that's one of the reasons, for instance, you don't hear of employers requiring their employees to get vaccinated.
The ACLU also voicing concerns over the prospect of digital vaccine passports due to potential discrimination and privacy. For that reason, the agency says any proposal for a vaccine credential should be primarily paper-based and decentralized. Now, the ACLU does say, though, there are legitimate circumstances in which people might be asked for their proof of vaccination, but the agency says it's worried about excluding people and doesn't want this to turn into what they call a, quote, checkpoint society. Now, I have reached out to lawmakers on both sides of the aisle on this issue, both at the state and the federal level. So far around the country, the actions we're seeing taken on this front are at the state level, though not here in Michigan. Of course, we expect this discussion to continue. Much more to come on this. Reporting live this morning from Detroit Metro Airport, Jen Shantz, 7 Action News.